Have you realized that most of the owners of properties, industries, companies, and factories are not born again Christians? Have you realized that?
Yes, sir.
Why is it so? They are operating in darkness, but they are paying the price. They are acting wisely in their generation. So they remain there. But those of us who have decided to leave darkness, we are not acting wisely in our own generation. Now let me just explain this with these illustrations. Those who are in darkness, they do the needful religiously. But those of us who are in light, we take the needful for granted. For example, the man who is in darkness, he knows how he got his money. He knows that every month he must go and do this and do that, so that money doesn't go. Are you following me? Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Does he take it for granted?
No, sir.
He doesn't even wait to be reminded. We have heard of people who built their houses and they had a room nobody should enter into. Not even their wives. You don't dare enter that room. They made sure that they took all the precautions to guard that place. For some of them, it was when they finally died that people were able to break into that room to see what they had there. To see the altars that they had there. To see the idols that they had there. To see the wickedness that they had in that place. That they were using to rise in life. But Christians will take their own for granted. How many of you have your Bibles? Some of your Bibles will tear. Genesis chapter 1 we go. Chapter 2 we go. The Bible will start from Exodus. Finally it will start from Malachi. You don't care. But whatever book they are reading, whatever court they are going to, that is giving them these things, they don't play with those things. I told you the other day that I once had a disciple, a convert, who told me that he belonged to cults, 8 cults. You remember I told you something like that?
Yes.
And he told me that one of his greatest surprise is that when he comes to church, he sees too much disorderliness in the church. That even in their cult meetings, you don't know that there are children there. You don't hear ping from them. On Monday, I think it was on Monday here, one of the men of God that came, Pastor Ewa, you remember him?
Yes, sir.
He came to give us a word of prophecy. He said, I want to tell you what God told me while we were taking praise and worship. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
And then he said, the Lord opened my eyes and told me that it's only that baby that is praising me that I accept. The rest of you are not accepting your praise. Because you are taking this thing for granted. That's why Jesus said, these people, if they are in their court and they are singing and they are praising and they are clapping, go and see them. But when you are in your own church, you are singing, you are clapping, you are dancing. Some of you are eating biscuits. Some of you are walking up and down. Some of you are just like this. You are not taking it seriously. You are not wise. You are not acting wisely. And yet you want to have the miracles. You want to have the testimonies. There are some of them that will be told, now that we have given you money, if you want to remain in this authority and this money, don't eat meat for the rest of your life. Once they enter into a party, you will discover the man is a rich man. He has given the biggest money for this party. He donated money for your wedding. He in fact sponsored your wedding. But you gave him food, he said he's not eating. You think he's a stupid person? He said he's not eating. You package a cooler. You bring the whole leg of one cow. He said, I'm not eating, keep it for yourself. But he doesn't tell you why. But a lot of us take all these things for granted. That's why Jesus said they are wiser in their generation. They are wise. Go and read the story that Jesus told about this unjust servant, unjust steward, who was messing up his master's business. And yet, when he acted in a certain way, the master said, I commend you. You have acted wisely.